Okay, go live with. Hi, I am gonna go live today, guys. And I am trying to get my friend to go live. So, 1 second. Okay, I am so happy to see so many people have joined this live right now. And my dad has come in the back and he's saying, Vaal kharab lagiche. My hair is looking bad, so Karan, redo your hair properly. But I'm gonna quickly just wait. I think my colleague Hardik, if you're watching this live, can you get Sharang on call? Check. Hardik. Okay, so guys, today's topic is a very interesting topic, which I'm gonna take up. But before I do that, I am so glad on a Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. we have so many people live. It's a chill Sunday, a lockdown Sunday. And today I'm going to talk about my journey to IID. I'm going to talk about what happened over the last 10 years. How did I get here? So if you guys are watching this live, you're going to enjoy it. But I have someone to help me go live in this video today. And I am just going to get him. Okay, guys, give me a minute. I'm going to fetch him back and then we're going to go live together. So, okay, excellent. So, we have my friend on call. Hi, Jankidi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello there,
Sorry,
Karan.
dude. I think I went live from my handle. I made a mistake out here, but awesome.
No, no, that's okay. I think I had a good time with some of the people who've also joined in there, and
Okay.
maybe it worked well because a lot of people had some feedback about what I've been doing so far. So maybe it worked well. But then now finally people hopefully would have tuned from there and have also come here.
Yes.
People would have got some notifications that I've gone back live. So I think I do see some people who are here and they're back and excited. So I'm going to start off very quickly, Karan. I've got a few things planned. I'm going to first give a very brief introduction for all the people who have just joined us as well. Karan Shah is from St. Xavier's Boys Academy. We have been school friends back from 2003.
Bench partners.
Yes, very categorically bench partners for the best part of 5 years back then as well. Following which, Karan had a lot of good accolades back at school. Following which, he went to HR. Following which, he went to do his BBA at NMIMS, and then he had a couple of work experience, and then finally a startup, and then finally the big thing that he is actually known for, which is Indian Institute of Digital Education. So as we both sip our coffee, I'd just like to welcome everyone to our next episode of That's What They Said. It's actually episode 6, and what here I'm trying to do, Karan, is I'm trying to get people to tell their stories, because I believe storytelling is something that we do miss out on, and maybe this will motivate somebody to start their own Indian Institute of Digital Education in the future, trying to understand what mistakes you made, trying to understand how to learn from those mistakes, what your journey was, just trying to get some inspiration. So let's dive right into it. Tell us something, Karan, about what your learnings from your undergraduate and your postgraduate education was that you know have a really good backing for?
So, first of all, to thank you for everybody to come live at 4 o'clock right now, and thanks Sharon for hosting this. Guys, this is my first or second live in life. So even though I run a digital education school, I don't go live that often. So bear with me, and I hope I do my best, and I hope I can make your evenings worthwhile. Coming to Sharang's question, I think undergraduate education in college, basically, I think the few things that I would really be thankful for was the number of friends I made. And honestly, I'll tell you that college is one place where you need to go to make good friends. I met Sharang in school, and today I know so many of my school friends are at such good places in life, and that helps you because your net worth is based on your network, you know. So I think the number of people who I met in college, at least I went to NMIMS, and I think 60% of the audience came from different parts of the country. So I have friends across the country, which is awesome. I think one of the few things that college forced me to do was to make presentations every week. And today I am a speaker, which means I speak at public platforms very often, and I'm a teacher. And one of the biggest reasons why I'm able to do this well is because of all the presentations that college put me through. We used to have like 15 presentations every quarter, you know, and when you're put in front of 60 people, 100 people, and you're continuously forced to speak, it's insane. Another thing, what I really learned is I would never make the project. So the art of management of how to get everybody else to make the project and still be a part of it, you know, of course, strategize it, but get a lot of other people to do it and then eventually present it. And that's what I do at work. You know, I have a team which does everything for me, with me, and then eventually I'm able to go ahead and go to public. So um, a teacher would say, hey, you got to do your presentation. And I would say, hey, you got to achieve the outcome to the presentation, you know, and that's what I think I learned in college.
Absolutely. And you know, once you finished college, you already went on for an entrepreneurial venture. You know, did you always want to be an entrepreneur growing up, or was this, you know, by chance? Was this by motivation that you would have come out of?
So my dad's an entrepreneur. My sister's an entrepreneur, and but my brother-in-law, sorry, my cousin brother, sorry, is not an entrepreneur, and he is a top job, white collar, very high up there. And when I graduated, I remember telling my dad, Dad, I'm going to go do an MBA,
Hmm.
or I'm going to go study law or CFA. You know, these are the trending topics back then. I'm talking about 10 years back, guys. And my dad told me this really cool line, and he said, Hey, you can hire a lawyer, you can hire a CFA, and you can hire a CA, but nobody can hire a business owner. So who do you want to be? I said, I surely want to be the business owner. So, and that's where my mindset changed when my dad spoke to me like that. And he said, everybody else is hireable, not the business owner. I said, okay, cool. And that started putting me on my entrepreneurial journey. And honestly, I come from a Gujarati family where I don't know why my father cut my pocket money at the age of 16. Okay. So, and by 18, I literally had negative pocket money. So, I always had this opportunistic urge and it brought out the best in me. To be honest, I was always seeking things and I would never waste time and keep myself productive at most times. So that's how the entrepreneurial journey just began. And then I just floated into it.
All right. You know, I'm coming from an entrepreneurial family. I believe it does run in the blood. I believe there is motivation from all angles also coming in. Tell us something about your life before IIT. What all did you do in order for you to gain that experience, gain that confidence, rather to actually start something which now you lead a team of 70 employees. You have reached out to 60,000 students already. How did you get that confidence? What all activities had you done prior to IIT?
So a Karan at 18 was just someone who could speak on stage, but I'm not sure if he could confidently speak. But all the activities that I did beyond 18, you know, so I have a TED talk, and in my TED talk, I have said, my life is based on the three internships I did,
Hmm.
you know, and I'll be honest, all the skills that I learned before I set up IID at various different experiences of my life is the reason why I am. For example, I used to work at this company called Edelweiss, and I used to work at their call center. So my job was to make 200 phone calls a day and asking people, hey, क्या आपको stock market में आपको account खोलना है कि नहीं? And to be honest, most people will say, shit, who's going to do a sales job? But to me, it's like, wow, I learned how to convince a human being in 60 seconds over the phone. by modulating my voice, by talking different things every time. So I learned how to speak to people. When I worked at Connect, I learned digital marketing and I learned how to speak to much richer people, you know. I learned digital marketing's crux. When I was at Deutsche Bank, I learned investment banking. When I went to Harvard, I understood e-commerce. I also had two or three failed startups, guys, which taught me a hell lot. I actually won a startup competition by the Bombay Stock Exchange in which I launched this thing called Park India Park, where I was creating an application for Indians to find parking, and we won that startup competition. But the entire series of activities and how I failed at different ends in choosing the right scope of work, having the right team on board, all that taught me a lot, man. It taught me a lot, from how what kind of team to build to what my personal expertise is to what I can do in life. So all I'm saying is I kept myself busy from 18 to whenever I started IID, and every experience has added a lot to my skill set.
Fantastic. So then you gained everything, and you have, like this experience, Karan Shah, at 20 something back in 2014 when you started IID. 20. Um, yeah. Let's go back to 2014 when you were in that building in Andheri. Maybe you had just got it out, or no, you were at Jahin College in that.
No, I actually started in Khar, in one school in Khar on the third floor.
And okay, so let's go back to that one school in Kharmi Sayo. Tell us about the firsts at IID. Tell us about your first meeting, your first employee, your first student who paid, like the fees. Uh, what was the mood back then?
Excited, extremely excited. So I remember, so I used to be just after graduation and before I started IID, I used to be kind of like a visiting faculty at multiple colleges, and I used to preach and teach the subject digital marketing. So my first student actually came on the second day of us initiating IID. Okay, and it was excellent because he came and he said, "Karan, are you going to be teaching?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Okay, what's the fees?" I said, "This," and that time there was still no demonetization or something like that. Honestly, that kid removed fees, which was a very high fee back then, from his pocket like that, and he said, "Here, if you're teaching, I am going to study." Okay, and that was the coolest feeling I ever had. You know, forget the money that he paid, forget anything. But when that kid said, "If you are teaching, I am going to be coming to study from you," on the second day that I formalized an educational brand, was just the right thing to tell me that, hey, listen, this venture is built for you. People believe you in this space. And the excitement, this is a really funny thing. My first social media password for all the IID accounts was his name. So his name was, I can't reveal the name because then the password is available. But
Yeah.
but all our social media accounts, and if any of my team members are watching this, all our social media accounts passwords that time were his name. And we were so excited that we celebrated our first student so much.
Uh, okay, have you managed to change the password now?
Yeah, multiple versions, man, multiple different versions of it. But it was just the customer that and we students are students, but a business will always look at a customer. And
Yeah,
for us, we celebrated that customer.
sure.
We wanted to remind ourselves every password that we put that this is the guy why we started.
That's true. So, I've been a student at IID as well. I have done my digital marketing course at IID. I've been trained under my bench partner of school. So that's the journey, and life has taken a full circle as well, in that sense. 2014 or 2016, when you had started off, you would have had a goal 2020,
Mhm.
or or you at least were trying to foresee where you see IIDE and yourself personally grow, until 2020. Now you've got 60,000 plus students, 70 plus employees, four campuses, maybe like the fifth campus also, which is now online. So you teach across four geographical campuses. What was your 2020 goal? Uh, what percentage of that have you reached? Have you surpassed it? Is it 120%? Or, if you want to just give some numbers based on that?
So we actually had broken down the goal. We wanted to be, and I can say it in one line to you. We wanted to be India's best digital skills school, offline, online, and on video.
Okay.
So this was one clear line statement that we had, that we want to be a digital school provider, a digital skills provider, and we had to be available offline, online, and on video on demand. And today we have all three.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's unreal because on our video courses we have more than 45,000 students. In our offline segment, we've done I don't know how many students. And the one piece that was missing is online, which is the live courses. And coronavirus has absolutely forced it.
Yeah.
So if I had one segment missing, today I have all my three segments running extremely well. I can pretty much guaranteedly say, and very proud to say, and humbly would like to say that we are probably Bombay's best or Maharashtra's best digital school. We won awards for that. We're probably India's top three digital schools today, and that can be guaranteed in terms of number of students, in terms of placements, in terms of everything put together. So yeah, we're on our way, man. As a school, we set out a target every year. And if you ask any of our team members, we've hit our targets 5 years back to back, nonstop. We've done 100% every year, and we've possibly grown 300% for the first 3 years and 250% for the next 2 years. So we've had a phenomenal growth, man. We've grown 1,500% from the day we started.
Those are fantastic numbers. Uh, I'm going to ask you about, my next question is about COVID's impact on your business, which is also one of the questions in the chat. We've all seen this meme on the internet about what has forced the digital transformation of your company, and is it the CTO, CEO, etc. But the answer is actually COVID. Uh, do you think, first let's talk about IID itself. Do you have any numbers as to how many people you've impacted over the last maybe 2 months? Especially because, Karan, anytime you put up something on social media about we have a webinar free of cost, come on, there are 1,000 people on that webinar. There are 1,000, and first I thought, hey, you know what, you'd be kidding, these are bots. But no, these are not bots. These are
They're
actually
real numbers.
people sitting with pen and paper, understanding what you're talking about. So how has COVID been impacting your company?
Look, I'm a very honest person, and I'll tell you, before COVID, when we would do online webinars, we would get 60 to 80 students.
Hmm.
Okay. But when we would do it offline, we would get like 100 students because we were predominantly very popular offline.
Hmm.
All the offline love has moved to online love today. Okay. Uh, and so we did a 21-day segment, okay, where we gave free 2 hour skills to anybody, every day, 2 hour new skills. And it was a campaign which we ran called Stay Calm and Learn, which was every day 2 hours of something new. We clocked 18,000 active learners, Sharam. So 18,000 people who sat through, the entire session over 21 days, and maybe over 26,000 registrations or something more. But 18,000 people who sat through minimum 1.90 minutes of learning. So that was the parameter which we judged ourselves on. And that was crazy.
Guys, these are crazy numbers. These are not numbers that you and that we can do on a regular basis. Even top universities across the globe cannot reach these numbers. So sorry, please go on.
So, I mean, it was insane, dude. And it was genuinely all WhatsApp. We just told people on WhatsApp, and dude, it was like friends of friends, friends of friends, friends of friends. All of them are actually validating IID for the first time,
Yeah.
and they're all figuring what IID is. And it was insane. Like, even in terms of video courses, we saw 400% increase in our recorded online courses. So if we were doing maybe 1,000 students a month, we suddenly jumped to 4,000 students a month. So let's say if we do this live 1 month later, we will be pushing ourselves and we'll be saying we'll be doing 1 lakh students by now. So yeah,
Right.
insane.
Yeah. These have been fantastic numbers. Once again, just want to react about that as well. Let's talk about, let's move away from IID and let's talk about the industry on the whole.
Mhm.
What according to you is the future of online education in India, specifically, especially now we've seen what IID has done, at COVID. Do you think people will, do you think offline is going to be replaced? Do you think, universities and schools should look at trying to do a blend, like, try to do some online modules, come on the weekend, don't quit your job, come on the weekend, do a face-to-face class, but do some online learning during the week as well. What do you think is going to happen, from here on?
I personally think that online is now here to stay for very good.
Okay.
The thing is, people are now used to it. You know, it takes maybe people say it takes 12 days. Some people say it takes 21 days to make a habit.
Hmm.
The habit is made.
Yeah.
Okay, so online learning needed a catalyst, and the catalyst is now here. And online learning is now going to be an extremely accepted method of learning. So it's here to stay for a very long time. And I think the word blended, which most people are saying, or vis-a-vis, you can call it hybrid, is now here to stay, which means doing Monday to Friday class online for maybe 1 hour a day for someone who's 25, who's already working, and then, coming on a one Saturday in every 2 weeks, when you have your holiday, and you will be coming and doing a presentation or doing a project with your classmates. So I think it's here to stay for a very long time. I think it's going to make education affordable. I think campuses don't need to be this large anymore. I think the mandate of who's providing a degree based on campus doesn't need to exist anymore, because knowledge and quality of content and eventual placement and eventual goal should be now recognized. So I think the education industry is going to have a drastic change. I think all private players who are like, for example, IIT or for any other player who are technologically driven are going to ace it. And all old school institutions who ran on pen and paper are going to see a very slow movement, or maybe might just die out, you know. So the industry is benefited, is going to get optimized in terms of real estate, in terms of time, in terms of travel, in terms of cost.
No, absolutely. That's also through one article that you had posted in your social media, which I took a screenshot and I posted it on mine, and it's on my LinkedIn as well, which was the job crisis. You know, and the uh, two positive things that came out of it was IT and education. Because of COVID, there have been about 50,000 new jobs in the industry. So that 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 absolutely validates your point. But online learning also needs to ensure that the faculty is trained, the students' engagement is monitored. Do you think faculty, when we back in the day, 5, 6 years back, Karan, if I told you faculty, and the first thing that came to your mind would have been a 40 to 50-year-old man or woman standing in a class in front of the board talking to students to do this, do that. But you have been one of the best teachers that people have across their careers, across their school and colleges, and now they come to your institution. Do you think faculty will also be able to blend in, student engagement will also be able to continue in this?
This is an extremely hard question. And I'll tell you what and why. So, in the last 2 weeks, I ran these things called FDPs, which stand for Faculty Development Programs. And Sharang, I did that for 3,500 teachers of Mumbai University. And I realized that there is a lot of learning that needs to happen out here. So, when a 50-year-old teacher needs to make a Zoom call,
Hmm.
they don't know how to set it up yet.
Yeah.
They are used to teaching off a textbook. Now they need to start making presentations, which are visually appealing, which cannot be textful. Now, if they want to do assignments, they have to create MCQs, which have to happen every week. They have to take answers on video calls, and they need to be subjective. They cannot be written down, you
Yeah.
know. There's going to be technology for online proctoring, which means your invigilator is not going to be a human, it's going to be technology.
That's true.
So for a 50-year-old teacher to take this through is going to be very hard. But teachers are learners, to be very honest. And I know this breed of people. We're learners. So we're going to figure, but it's going to take some time. And that time is going to drastically impact how students engage in a classroom. And a lot of people are going to be like, going to choose different schools and institutions which find more engaging online teachers. So it's going to be a very slow process. See, for a 50-year-old, change is very resistant. So when I was doing these programs, they were like this simple question like, how do you shut a Zoom call?
Hmm.
You know, they're amazing at the subject, okay? And you
Yeah.
can't say, and they can teach you chemistry means, oh God, you don't know that shit. But if
Absolutely.
you ask someone a question outside their subject, which is about accessing Zoom or sharing a file or how to make it viewable or how to make it downloadable, they don't know these things. And it's like teaching our old grandparent how to set up their own Instagram account, and they wouldn't know it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So lots of time is all I'm saying. So it's a plea to students to chill and to peacefully help their teachers. That's what I would say.
Okay. Just trying to pick your brain as an entrepreneur as well. Um, uh, that there's a comment in the question as well. That's also part of my next question. How do you find the right people? You've hired 70 plus people. You have a lot of, visiting faculty as well that might be coming in. Uh, how do you, pinpoint and say, boss, you're my man. Uh, I'm going. I have full trust in you. You have to run this for me. How do you, what do you look in that person in order to hire him or her?
First of all, the HR division at my organization is run by me. Okay. I chair that division. There are lots of rounds that we do to hire people. Telephonic interviews, resume screening. So resume screening first, telephonic interviews second, third technical round with just a team head. In that, there's a test. There is a very hard test. Like nobody can join my organization without giving a test anymore. So you'll have to give a very hard test, which is subjective in nature. If they pass that test, then they meet me. In that also, I may give them a further test. So past background, culture, vibe of that person, technical skills via testing. It's not like, hey, it's easy to join my organization. We make it extremely difficult, man. And like for me, when I tell my HR executive, you need to get me at least 5 candidates before I choose one. I have the ratio of 5:1 because I'm very picky about my team. So, and to be honest, if you have the right team, is only when you can grow fast. So be very picky. And I'm extremely picky. Like I still run that department just by myself and with my individual executives. So
Fantastic.
yeah.
You've created this large team. You've got so many students. Over the last 5 odd years, Karan, which was one of the moment where you were like, "Wow, this is great. What I'm doing with my life is fantastic." Which has been the most aha moment for you at IIT so far?
So there are lots of moments like that. Um, I have one or two to share. So can I?
Yeah, please, please.
So this was the first year of IID, and we just completed 1 year of IID, and maybe one day before or one day after, one of the kids got a job. And Sharan, that kid's father used to work as an accountant in some office, used to make a 30,000 rupee salary. And the mother used to be a homemaker and sell something from home, I believe, some food items, maybe papad or something. I don't know. And that kid got a job in Hyderabad or the kid got a job in some other state, I think Hyderabad or Bangalore from IID. And her salary as a 22-year-old was cumulatively higher than what both the parents earned together. And boom, I knew that now what I'm doing is making sense. I am able to, in 1 year of teaching you, get you a higher pay than what your parents have made together per month over the last 15 years. That is my first sign of real success. And over the years, such examples have repeated multiple times. And recently, we were in Bangalore attending this Indian Education Congress event. And dude, we won, and I'm pretty sure there were more than 40, 50 nominations for this award, which was India's Best Digital Skills Institute. And I'm sure there were more than 40, 50 nominations. And I could see people in the crowd who were in the nomination, right? There were so many companies out there. But when we won that award, I knew, man, that now we are one of the finest. We have put in a lot of effort. We work 14 hours a day. Schools and colleges look like they work 6 hours a day. That's nothing. Okay, we guys work 14 hours a day. And we know that when we won that award in front of those other 50 organizations, we have done something to ensure that we've reached here. And now we know that we have a much bigger and longer battle, and we have a bigger responsibility to the entire ecosystem of students now. We have a genuine responsibility now. We're not some sidey educational teacher. We are a formal setup which does responsible things, and we're accountable for those people now.
So, no, I think that's been really inspiring for all the 100 odd people that are actually viewing this, and a lot of students also might finish an IID course and then maybe not want to work. Maybe they might be inspired by your story. Maybe they were like, I want to start something of my own, or I already have something of my own, and I want to make this into an entrepreneurial venture. What is your advice to students when they want to take that plunge? Maybe they might not be having uh, the resources of the family backing. But let's leave that aside. Okay, sorry, let's leave aside. What is your advice to people who might be working in a job today, have an idea but don't have the risk appetite to actually quit that job, quit that salary, and actually start something of their own? What is your advice to such people?
So to run a business, you need in Hindi risks, but in actual English risk, right? And you need to have the risk taking capability. What I mean is, when I started off IID, I don't think I took a single penny home. All my lunches, Sharang, used to be vada pavs in different colleges where I will be doing promotion, which is to cost $5. All my travels were by train, which is to be under $10. And yeah, I'm trying to say that if you're an employed person, or even if you're starting up a startup, you need to realize and recognize that you cannot be earning money. Your business needs to earn value. And there's a very big difference between both of them.
Yeah.
And when your business has earned enough value, you will automatically earn money. And that's a byproduct of earning value. So in the start, if you have a roof, if you have a place to stay, if you have food at home, and if you have clothes to wear, you are capable enough to now run your own entrepreneurial venture. And everybody who has a roof, who has a bed, who has some food is capable to run their own entrepreneurial venture. So I think that's it. That's where the worry ends. And that's where the person has to say, okay, I'm going to start. And if they want to start, that's the only parameter I would check to start. And there are a lot of other parameters, like check your own SWOT, like check your strengths, check the opportunities, do your business. But I'd say to make a decision to do it, if you have roti kapda makan, you are enough to start a startup. That's
Oh,
it.
okay. All right. So we have spoken quite a bit about IIT, about entrepreneurship. Let's get to a little more on the lighter side now. I prepared some rapid fire questions for you.
Okay,
So
okay.
I'm sure the 100 people who are watching here today are certainly very keen on IIT, but a lot of people are also coming here for Karan himself. So let's try and know a little bit of Karan. Karan, if you had to write a book about yourself, what would be its title?
If I had to write a book about myself, what would be its title? I'm buying time to think about an answer.
Yeah, I know that. Public speaking, classic.
um, it would be uh, why sales first.
Why sales first? Okay.
Yeah, why sales first? And I think that's one thing which every business owner forgets. And I think that my entire book is going to talk about why sales first, why you need to learn how to sell. Or my book name, as one of my teammates is writing on top, writing out here, is this one quote which my entire office runs by. And that quote is winning is not everything, but it's the only thing. And that's the attitude in my organization. And maybe that could be the cover of my book. So let's see.
And I believe one more comment is there that would you print the book? No, I don't think he's going to print a book. I think it's a Kindle, because Karan does stand for digital. Okay, what's the one thing, Karan, that you think is true but the other people don't agree with?
What's the one thing that I think is true but other people don't agree with? I'm going to come back onto my same topic, and it would be sales, the attitude of sales. Shalang, I deal with so many students, and so many times I go to classroom and I say, how many of y'all would like to do a sales job? Out of like 200 kids or 100 kids in my class, there would be two guys who would raise their hand. And I would be like,
Hmm.
if you want to be somewhere in life, because
Yeah.
you don't need to learn how to sell a product. I'm not saying that. You need to learn how to sell your idea to your employer. You need to learn how to sell your idea to your family. You need to learn how to sell your idea to your watchman, to your driver, to your milkman, to everybody. So you need to have the right kind of communication skills to understand what they want, seed your idea, and get your job done. So people don't understand this, man. People are very afraid of talking about this language, and I am very anti that, because I'm a pro believer of being able to communicate and get your things done via communicating.
Okay. Okay. Fantastic. When you were a kid, Karan, maybe I would know this, but when you were a kid, what was your goal? What did you want to be when you were a kid?
Okay, I'm going to say this on Insta Live. Since a kid, I wanted to always be the prime minister of the country.
Really?
Really, dude. I have always wanna be someone of a very at a position in life where I can help so many people redo their thoughts, make a change. I wanted to be somewhere when the movie Border came out. I figured I want to be a soldier, you know, and a lot of kids of my generation would want to be a soldier when the movie Border came out. So from there, my entire journey started, and I started watching a lot of these soldier movies, Laksh and Border, and I realized that one of the callings in me is to help a lot of people.
Hmm.
And when I grew up over some time, I realized that I have this inner public speaking skill. That when I go on stage, I am able to convince a lot of people to think in a certain manner or capture an audience together. So I just want to be able to use my speaking skill to be able to impact a lot of people, and the outcome needs to be nationalistically positive. That's the goal. Now I don't know what position it's going to be. As a young kid, I thought it would be the PM of the country, but the outcome is this.
Sure. And are you still comfortable in speaking as well in Hindi?
Very well, yeah.
Very
We
well.
come from Saint Xavier's Boys Academy. हम हिंदी में एकदम शुद्ध हिंदी में बात कर सकते हैं.
वार्तालाप is that.
वार्तालाप कर सकते हैं.
So, for everybody who's watching, let's start hashtag 2050 Karan for PM. Uh, and maybe we can put this all over. Maybe this could still not be a childhood dream that has gone away. You're only 27. We've seen so many politicians way older, and I believe we'll gain that experience. Karan, one advice, one feedback that's not far away. Maybe at least the goal that you're looking at, which is trying to grow and trying to make a difference, which you've already done through this venture. But hashtag Karan Shah for PM 20 should be on my Twitter trending list from the next couple of days. So I'm going to also
Thank you.
across. What has been the most satisfying moment at IID? I think you've already mentioned that, Karan. I think you mentioned two experiences. So let's move on. What is the brand that defines you?
The brand that defines me, uh, our ethics, our never say no attitude, and our ultimate desire for clean quality is what defines us, man.
Okay. And no. My question was like a brand. What is that brand that absolutely defines you?
You mean like some external brand?
Yeah.
Some external brand that defines me.
Well, I would have
I-
answered IIDE, but I would not want you to actually copy that. If there is, if not, then it's fine. Let me move on to my next question, Karan. What is your biggest inspiration, or who is your biggest inspiration?
My father,
Your father.
to multiple levels. My father. A lot of my learnings come from there. All my attitudes, my thoughts, my ethics, my values come from there, and he's my true role model
Okay.
for sure.
All right. I'm going to ask you. I'm going to mention maybe a word or some phrases. What is the first emotion or the first thing that comes to your mind when I say the following? Okay.
Okay.
Let's go for a simple one first. Lockdown.
Webinar.
Well, fair enough. In adversity lies opportunity. In all my previous webisodes, everybody has responded saying, "I hope it gets over soon." Boredom, this that. But then Karan Shah has said webinar, which I believe is a very correct and true example about how in adversity lies opportunity. What
Exactly.
about intuition in business?
Always.
Always. Okay. First thing
Always.
first thing that comes to your mind when I say IIDE.
Clean, quality, result-oriented organization.
Okay. First thing that comes to my mind when I say digital marketing.
Neil Patel.
Oh,
I learned a lot of digital marketing from him, man. So give it to him for that.
fair enough. Your first thing that comes to your mind when I say students at IID.
One of my favorite students at IIT is this boy called Aditya Shastri, who's now the most successful teachers at IIT, and I love him for that. So students at IIT, my boy Aditya Shastri.
Fantastic. One thing that comes to your mind when I say future of Indian education.
Karan Shah.
Fantastic.
I really want to be there, Sharang. I really want to help the education system, man.
No, and I
Overall.
already doing it, and you're doing you're doing an absolutely fantastic job of that. Karan, my next question, first thing that comes to your mind when I talk about married life.
I love it.
You love.
Partner, my wife, my partner who's doing some work right here, Riya Mehta, I love her. It's like forever you have something to do in life, man.
That's great. All right, I'm not going to take much of your time. I have one last question. What's the first thing or the first emotion that comes to your mind when I say Sharang Dhaimari?
Buddy. Dude, to all the listeners, in the fifth standard, Sharang was known as PJ King. Okay, Sharang used to have the best PJs in school life. So he used to every morning come up with a new PJ, and he would crack a new PJ every morning, and his name was PJ for some time.
I think
Okay,
I
but okay, I have few more adjectives. Can I please do some few more on you?
please go ahead.
Um, Fastest runner, best athlete. Fastest runner means unbelievable. He made the house win. Fastest runner, best athlete, super bench partner who would never put us in trouble, but put everybody else in trouble. And a true buddy, man. In school times, I wouldn't have passed if it wouldn't have been you. The motivation pre-examinations.
I don't think that's accurate because how life has come a full circle. If he's think then if he's saying that I helped him to study, a few years later I'm sitting in a class where he's about marketing. So I think we've actually come a long way. Thank you so much, Karan, for doing this. I believe since 2003, we've known each other. We've had great memories, and I believe we both have a dwindling passion for higher education, and I believe that that's going to also continue for years to come. I hope there is a lot more that we have on a personal front, on a professional front as well. So I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for doing this, Karan. Thank you so much for spending 50 minutes on a Sunday afternoon.
No,
Uh,
no worries, man. You want to take some audience questions, or I don't know if they're asking anything. I haven't checked.
I don't see any audience questions right now. I think some questions are about your struggle, but you mentioned that there were some questions about intuition. You've mentioned that. What about TEDx? If there's something about TEDx, I don't want to get into any political,
No.
points here, so I'm going to keep that aside. Um, I think people have started, like a hashtag for you. So if there had been any more questions, I would certainly look at them.
Okay, I think people are now saying very inspiring. Thank you. Okay, thank you, everybody.
Okay, some questions about your competition. How are you different? What is, if IIT, has done something extraordinary? Have IIT has done something maybe, you could talk about your competition. If you'd like to take names, not like to take names, I'm going to leave that to you.
I think we've always tried to find our USP in teaching. All our competitors. Look, I mean, digital marketing is now opening at every different place. I think few of the differential competitors is genuinely the kind of teachers we bring to our organization. We have a new teacher every 15, 20 hours, dude. And that's not something that you see across any college in the entire country. So we have a new teacher, a new face, a new expert teaching content every 15, 20 hours. And anyone who's at IID can vouch for this. Any old student of IID can vouch for this. We have continuous testing systems, continuous presentation systems, very clean back-end organizations, lots of culture. And most schools and colleges do not have culture. And IID is known for its culture. Like you will always see our social media where all our kids are doing something new together. And we are known for our culture. So kids don't join IID just for digital marketing. They join it for the friends they'll make, for the different teachers they'll meet, and the kind of culture. Some kids are even forced to dance in IID, even though it's not a dance school, but we force our kids to dance because it's a way to open them up. So these have just been some of our USPs, which students talk to each other about it, and that's what works for us.
No, I think that's been great as well. There's a question about future of IIDE. what are your growth plans? Is there something that's on paper? Is there something you'd like to share with the public on this particular platform as to where do you see IID in the next few years going?
Um, One of our next challenges, Sharang, is to surely create a much better MBA course. We do realize, recognize the value of doing 2 years of education after graduation. So, which is why we launched a post-graduation course. But over the next 10 years, I think I'm going to build a K to 18, which means I'm going to have my own school from kindergarten to primary school, secondary school to junior college, everything, and everything is going to come under one roof. So over the next 10 years, I think IIT is going to be a full-fledged institution and a very selective, professional, skills-oriented school. And I think we will get there in some time. We started from a 2-day course to a 5-day course to a 6-month course to a 1-year course. Now we'll move to a 2-year, 3 year. So we're not saying we're going to finish all the challenges in one day, but I think in the next 10 years, I have a goal. And after that, I'm going to resign from IIT and ensure that the school runs by itself, by the people, for the people, of the people. So
Okay,
that's all.
that's a that's a great plan for 2030 as well, because 20 years after that you'll be the Prime Minister of the country. So that's some good part of future planning. So I think, Karan, thanks so much for doing this. There are some more questions coming up, but then most of them we have already, we've already covered. If you have any more questions that you'd like to ask, maybe let's all try and compile those questions. You can send it to me. Maybe then I can create a file and I can share it whenever you have the time. Maybe you could also try and mentor some of these people, with your advice, which is why this whole platform has been created, where I want to, get people to be, inspired. And I believe the last 45 minutes have been really, really inspiring for all of them. Thanks so much once again, Karan, for doing this. Just a little bit of a small operational thing, Karan. I hope you'll be able to save this video or at least share it to your IGTV and then send it to me via some place. So, just because I'll need to have this for my record as well.
I haven't clicked on any pre-save button, so I do not know that.
So once you finish this live, you'll have to share it to your IGTV. Then I will send you a link where you can download it as a 40-odd minute video, and then you can retransfer me the file.
Okay, so just click on end, right now?
No, yes, after you click on end, you'll have to publish this whole live. It will go as a post on your feed. Then you'll have to copy that link and paste it on a link that I will share with you, immediately. You will then download a 40 to 45 minutes video file, and then you'll have to retransfer it to me.
Okay, excellent, cool.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks so
All
much
right.
for doing this. Goodbye, everyone. We will see you now on Tuesday for the next episode. Thanks so much once again. And any feedback, happy to have a listen to that as well. Thanks so much, Karan. Goodbye.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye-bye.